Before the start of World War II, there were already conflicts in the Pacific between Japan and China. In 1931, Japan had invaded the Chinese province of Manchuria, and by 1937 had already controlled a great amount of the territory in China. Other countries in the Pacific accused them of committing war crimes against the Chinese people, so treaties were put in place to limit the navies in the Pacific Ocean. However, with Japan's withdrawal from the Five-Fire Treaty, they ended their cooperation with the other major powers in the Pacific. Many countries, including the United States, criticized Japan, but avoided giving military or economic punishments. Following Japan's conflicts in the Pacific, US and Japan relations worsened when Japan started to take control of Indochina. Growing US concerns led to the ban on resources like scrap metal, oil, and aviation going to Japan. Japan, foreseeing conflict, began to plan an attack on Pearl Harbor, which brought the United States into the war and uplifted World War II into the global scale. Throughout the war, Japan had a persistent army who did whatever it took to win, whether it was time, resources, or lives with the kamikaze pilots. An example of this is in the final battle in Okinawa, where 100,000 American and Japanese lives were lost. When President Roosevelt passed away, it became President Truman's responsibility to end the war.
A fission is when a nucleus splits into two, causing it to do the same thing to other atoms, causing a reaction. This reaction is an explosion. Marie Curie in the 19th century discovered that uranium was radioactive, and if something is radioactive, it is likely to reach fission. The possibility of nuclear fission is then brought up as a possibility by Leo Szilard. The first fission was done by Jewish Lise Meitner, but couldn't continue due to Nazis forcing her to move to Sweden. Germany would continue this project. Finding out more about fissions, and German scientists who were pushed to the States would catch word of this. These scientists were Szilard and Walter Sim, decided to create a nuclear reactor. Szilard then took his findings to Einstein, and they decided to send a letter to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, saying nuclear energy would be used for bombs. With this being received in October, he then made the Advisory Uranium Committee on October 21st, 1939, being their first meeting. They weren't doing much at first, but started to pick up the slack once the USA formally went to war with Japan, and when they heard British scientists theorizing a nuclear bomb. They sought help from the military due to their lack of funding, with Colonel Leslie R. Groove being put as head organizer of the Manhattan Project, also being promised a promotion if he does well. Within 2 days, he sets up 3 sites, with the first being in Oak Ridge for uranium enrichment, the second being in Los Alamos, New Mexico for bomb building, and the third located at Hanford, Washington to develop plutonium due to it being a radioactive metal. After receiving approval from FDR, the project became even bigger, with them gaining 27 work sites and gaining 100,000 workers, with some not knowing what they were working towards. It cost $2.2 billion to make 2 types of bombs, with Little Boy being uranium bomb and Fat Man being a plutonium bomb. Robert Oppenheimer, leading the project for the scientists, had them test the plutonium bomb due to it being unprecedented. This would be labeled as a Trinity test, where they would drop the plutonium bomb 100 feet from the air, with it creating a 30-foot wide crater with sand melted and grass radioactive. Even knowing how powerful these bombs were, they still decided to nuke Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
On August 6, 1945, at 8:15, the first ever atomic bomb was dropped in the center of Hiroshima. Once it blew up, it produced a massive ball of fire. Shockwaves were sent from this heat, which had a radiation that killed thousands of people. After the explosion, there was a black rain that had radiation in it as well. Reports differ on the casualties from the bombing, which estimates as high as 1,600,000 deaths, mainly civilians.
Oh, it's going! It's going!
It's going.
The atomic bomb should have not been used on Japan. Firstly, the bomb had devastating effects on Japan. Its destructive power took many innocent lives with the initial explosion and more with the radiation caused by it. Although Japan did commit acts of injustice prior and during World War II, it did not justify this level of destruction which had never been seen before. The bomb also led to negative impacts around the world. Due to the creation of the bomb, the Cold War started with a fight for nuclear superiority between the United States and USSR. It also led to an increase in nuclear weapons held by countries around the world. More countries are now in possession of nuclear weapons, but none have been used since the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.